There comes a point in a man's life when he looks back at a relationship and feels the sting of truth that he can't ignore anymore. It's the realization that he was never truly loved for who he was. He was valued only for what he gave, for the attention he provided, for the stability he carried on his shoulders. In the moment, it all felt real. Her affection seemed deep, her attention seemed genuine, her intimacy seemed meaningful. But when the curtain fell and the dust settled, he saw it clearly: it was never love, it was an act. Many women don't move through relationships simply being themselves. They adjust, they perform, they become what they need to be in order to maximize what they can take from a man. To her, the relationship is not just about connection, it's about extraction. This is why so many men describe relationships as draining, even when nothing looked wrong on the surface. Beneath the smiles, beneath the soft words, beneath the intimacy, there was a performance carefully designed to keep him giving more. He thought he was building love, but in reality, he was fueling an act. And the more he gave, the more convincing the act became. It was never about equal devotion. It was about keeping him locked in, always working harder to maintain a balance that never really existed. The hardest part of this realization is how real it all feels while it's happening. Men naturally believe emotions are truth. If she cries, she must be hurt. If she smiles, she must be happy. If she says she loves him, then it must mean forever. But in her world, emotions are not necessarily truth. They are tools, and he is the audience paying the price. The term energy vampire might sound dramatic, but when you really stop and think about it, the comparison fits. Think about how many times you've walked away from an encounter with a woman feeling more tired than before. At first, you can't explain it. You tell yourself it's just the ups and downs of relationships, that love is supposed to be hard work. But over time, you start noticing a pattern. The constant emotional highs and lows, the random coldness, the sudden warmth that pulls you back in, it all leaves you unbalanced. You're trying to create stability while she seems to thrive in unpredictability. You work to build consistency, to make her feel secure, while she keeps the emotional ground shifting beneath your feet. The truth is, this chaos is not always accidental. It is often her most powerful tool. When she keeps you guessing, you pour more of your energy into the relationship just to restore the harmony you thought you had. The confusion makes you chase harder, talk more, prove more, do more. And every time you chase, she gets fed. Every attempt to stabilize things is actually another source of energy for her performance. What you thought was love becomes an endless cycle of addiction. The warmth she gives you in good moments acts like bait. It hooks you, makes you believe that if you just do the right thing, say the right words, give a little more, you can get back to that beautiful version of her you first met. But every high is followed by a low. Every calm moment is followed by tension. This is how the cycle keeps spinning. You become locked in a game where the reward is always just out of reach, and the cost is your strength. Everything she does is part of a carefully crafted act, even if she doesn't fully realize she's doing it. Her tears appear when she needs sympathy. Her sweetness shows up when she wants commitment. Her seduction arrives when she wants control. And when she needs space or power, she turns cold and distant. To a man, this is confusing because men are naturally logical. We assume emotions reflect truth. If she's crying, we think she must be hurting. If she smiles, we assume she's happy. If she says I love you, we believe it's a promise meant to last. But what most men fail to see is that emotions, for many women, are tools. They are not always reflections of inner reality. They are ways to shape yours. She can cry without being truly broken. She can kiss you without actually desiring you. She can say forever while secretly wondering who else might be watching her next move. That's why so many men feel completely hollow when these relationships finally collapse. It's not just heartbreak they feel, it's the deep exhaustion of having been bled dry. What made the connection feel so powerful was not that it was real, but that it was convincing. She put on the perfect act at the perfect time. When you were strong, she played soft. When you pulled away, she played desperate. When you were ready to commit, she mirrored everything you wanted in a partner. You believed it because you wanted to. And by the time you realize what's happening, you're already so invested that you keep trying to fix things, not realizing there's nothing real to fix. You were never building love, you were fueling a performance that depended entirely on your energy. In the beginning, she mirrors you so well that you feel like you've finally found the one person who truly understands you. If you value kindness, she becomes the kindest woman you've ever met. If you admire ambition, she suddenly talks about her dreams and plans for the future. If you crave adventure, she presents herself as wild, spontaneous, and ready to explore. This mirroring is powerful because it makes you feel seen. It feels like destiny, like she is uniquely compatible with you. But what you are really falling for is not her, it's a reflection of yourself. She has scanned you, learned you, and crafted the perfect mask to keep you hooked. Once you're invested, the mask slowly begins to slip. Respect turns into criticism. Peace turns into drama. Admiration turns into subtle contempt. At first, you don't even notice the shift because you're still living off the memory of how things used to feel. You keep chasing that version of her you fell for, believing she'll return if you just love harder, work harder, sacrifice more. But this is where her most powerful weapon comes in: emotional chaos. One day she's passionate and affectionate, the next she's withdrawn and cold. This push and pull cycle is not random. It's designed to destabilize you. The good moments act like a drug that makes you crave the next high. The bad moments make you desperate to earn it back. You start living for those moments of relief, and in the process, you lose focus on your mission, your work, and even yourself. Every ounce of your energy becomes focused on managing her moods, trying to keep the peace, trying to restore what you think is real. And that is exactly how you stay trapped. The more you try to explain, argue, or fix things, the deeper you fall into the trap. Every conversation you start, every reassurance you give, every apology you make, is just more fuel for the act. The more you pour in, the more she takes. You think that if you just find the right words, if you just show her how much you care, she'll finally calm down and the relationship will stabilize. But the truth is, there is no amount of giving that will satisfy someone who thrives on taking. The cycle only ends when you stop playing your part in it. This is where silence and detachment become your greatest weapons. You cannot outgive her appetite, you cannot outreason her chaos, you cannot negotiate with emotional manipulation. The only thing that breaks the pattern is removing the one thing the act feeds on: your energy. When you stop reacting, when you stop letting her emotional swings control you, the performance begins to collapse. She no longer has an audience. She no longer has a stage. This doesn't feel easy at first. In fact, it feels like loss. You feel guilt, doubt, even fear. But as time passes, the fog starts to clear. Your energy starts coming back. Your thoughts become sharper. Your peace slowly returns. And you start to see that her absence was never a punishment, it was freedom. The strength you were wasting trying to manage her storms is now available for your own growth, your mission, your purpose. This is the turning point. The moment you stop feeding her act is the moment you begin to reclaim yourself, piece by piece, until you feel whole again. Once you finally see the performance for what it is, everything changes. You can't unsee it. You start noticing the same patterns you once missed: the fake sweetness at the beginning, the sudden shifts in mood, the emotional swings that once kept you hooked. You notice them not just in her, but in other women, in other situations, even in the world around you. And the difference now is that you no longer take the bait. Where the old version of you would have chased, explained, argued, or begged, the new version stands firm. You no longer react to every test or every emotional storm. You no longer confuse drama for depth or chaos for passion. You simply see things as they are, without letting them drain you. This shift is powerful because it doesn't just change how you deal with women, it changes how you deal with life. You stop chasing illusions in every area. You stop giving your energy to people and situations that only take without giving anything back. You start valuing peace over temporary excitement, clarity over confusion, and reality over fantasy. And slowly, you begin building a life that feels strong, grounded, and calm. This is the real transformation: not bitterness, not hate, but clarity. You no longer need to prove your worth to anyone, and you no longer waste your time trying to win back someone who never truly loved you. You save your energy for building your own life, your mission, your future. And with each step, you feel stronger. The man who no longer feeds the act becomes rare, powerful, and free. Once you reach this point, you never go back, because now you know the difference between real love and a performance.